Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, public warned against spreading misinformation. Small island states urged to demand for more action. And trial date set for alleged murderer.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Ritika Pratap.
People who spread misinformation and rumors about the coronavirus have been labelled enemies of the state by the health minister. This comes after rumors of the deadly virus at the Lautoka hospital were spread after medical staff were seen wearing personal protective gear last Friday. The ministry says the Lautoka hospital novel coronavirus infection contingency plan was activated as a precaution last Friday and was stood down as the patient did not have respiratory symptoms or a relevant travel history.
Anyone who misinforms the public with a view to creating anxiety is an enemy of Fiji, an enemy of the state. Really, that's what it is, because they don't have a heart in this country. Anyone who has a heart for the nation will say things that will encourage the nation, will say things that will push the nation forward.
Meanwhile, in China's Hubei province, 65 people died of the coronavirus yesterday, raising the Hubei death toll since the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak to 479 people. This brings the global death toll to at least 490 victims. Chinese authorities confirmed an additional 3,156 cases of the virus in Hubei, where more than 50 million people live, which brings the total number of cases in the epicenter of the outbreak to 16,678. A total of 12,627 patients have been hospitalized in the province, of which 771 are in critical condition. The global number of confirmed coronavirus cases is now well over 23,000.
This has been an epidemic situation that has been growing in an extremely meaningful way. I believe that China has mobilized enormous resources and enormous capacity to respond, and we have, of course, full recognition of that effort. But the dimension of the crisis is such that all efforts are sometimes insufficient, and China itself was the first to recognize that.
Prime Minister Manama believes small island states can demand more action on climate change if they implement strategies to reduce carbon emissions. While opening a regional hub for nationally determined contributions in Suva last night, Manama highlighted that even small carbon emitters need to do their part. The hub will monitor the Pacific's efforts towards NDCs or targets set by governments on mitigating climate change.
Whether we're speaking from the floor of the United Nations or sitting across from our higher emitting counterparts, we can certainly wield our moral authority to great effect. But there is far more power in saying, if we can do it, so can you. If we can summon the courage and creativity to grow sustainable economies, surely you can do the same.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption says while it respects the functions of the Auditor General under the Fijian Constitution, everything needs to be done within a legal mandate. This follows the release of a report by FICAC on the complaint lodged by opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka against Rewa Dairy Cooperative Limited, ruling it has no merit and warrants no further action on proceedings by the Commission. It says the Auditor General's report of 2010 was also not reliable, as the report lacked a detailed inquiry and was based on a single person's vague response. The OAG is expressing its dissatisfaction on this, claiming that this is factually incorrect. The office further says that these matters have not been formally submitted to the Auditor General's office for comments by the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation. FICAC says while the OAG has claimed that the Commission's findings that the OAG relied on a single officer from the Ministry of Industry and Trade is factually incorrect, it is not right. Getting tested for prostate cancer does not make you any less of a man, says the Fiji Cancer Society. With 2 cases registered so far this year, Chief Executive Belinda Chen says for many men, the topic remains taboo in conversations. Chen says this should not be the case, as men need to take their health seriously, not only as a commitment to themselves, but for their loved ones as well.
They need to start talking about what they're going through, lower back pains, whatever symptoms they have, share it. We find that for those with they come in for prostate testing, you know, they're worried that it's more than a blood test.
The Fijian Elections Office will conduct an investigation to find out why there was a low turnout of young voters in the last election. This will be done as the FEO plans to run awareness campaigns in schools. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Sanim says the FEO is currently putting together strategies before a decision to carry out nationwide registration campaign for students will be made.
School registrations allow us to capture students who just newly become eligible. We have seen the impact of school registration resulting in high levels of registration in the last election cycle. We have also noted, and we are yet to confirm, a very low turnout in the 18 to 20-year-olds in the last election.
The National Disaster Management Office is currently carrying out community-based risk management training in disaster-prone areas of Kandavo. This is after an earthquake hit the island in October last year, followed by 2 tropical cyclones. NDMO Director Vasiti Soko says the training is being conducted as they prioritize the safety of communities. Soko adds that geotech surveys are also being conducted by the Department of Mineral Resources that focuses on the risk of landslides in the event of a heavy downpour of the kind associated with tropical cyclones. The trial of a 21-year-old man charged with murder will begin later this month. Sola Temo faces 1 count of murder. It is alleged Temo killed a tertiary student at the Silver Foreshore in May in 2018. He is alleged to have hit 23-year-old Aquila Salavuki with a piece of lumber, causing his death. The next day, 2 men found the deceased lying in a pool of blood at the foreshore. Temo was arrested after weeks of investigation. The 2-week trial starts on February 17th. Coming up, no talks on Fiji joining the 6 nations. And Manchester City needs to step up. Stay with us.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Welcome back. According to an English newspaper report, talks have started regarding the Flying Fijians joining the 6 Nations Championship. The Daily Express reported that Fiji is pushing for inclusion in an expanded 6 Nations Championship, but if it falls through, then Fiji may debut in 2022 or 2023. According to the report, Fiji has approached 6 Nations committee members with a plan to play their home matches in France if admitted. Fiji was one of the big losers when World Rugby's Nations League project fell apart last year. The French representative to the 6 Nations Committee says any plan to expand the international game will be met with fierce opposition at club level, but he believes it could be made to work. With the Sydney Sevens tournament now history for the Fiji Airways Fiji men's team, coach Gareth Baber has admitted a number of areas the side will need to work on before the next leg. Baber was not particularly happy with the team's discipline during the semi-final and final, which saw Alessio Nanduva and Joshua Vakuranambuli shown yellow cards. The coach says this is an area that can be easily fixed during training. Players will be back in camp tomorrow to prepare for the Las Vegas tournament on the 29th of this month.
Lost a little bit of discipline semi-final and final. That was disappointing because we've been so good over those couple of weeks. But that's something we keep working on, and I know we've been hammered for that as well. But that's through no lack of effort. It's just a little bit of accuracy when we're doing things. And as you say, the boys went out there and they
The fine weather will continue with a chance of scattered showers this afternoon and overnight. Tomorrow will be much of the same. That was your FBC News Now. Remember to join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For these stories and others, you can also tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Good afternoon.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.